I'm Bob Mueller.
And I'm Haley Wilgus. DCS took away a couple's children after a traffic stop and a misdemeanor charge. And tonight, Tennessee's Democrats are pushing DCS to give the kids back.
DCS took the kids a month ago. Here's News 2's Adam Mincer.
And when I went to go reach him, the man grabbed me. He told me, don't touch him.
It was a promise to her kids she couldn't keep.
And I'm just telling him, like, it's okay. Nobody's going to separate us.
While driving from Georgia to Chicago, Bianca Claiborne and her partner, Deontay Williams, were stopped by state troopers. According to court documents, it was for having dark tinted windows and also driving in the left lane without passing. After being pulled over, documents say the trooper smelled marijuana and the parents admitted to smoking it. Troopers found 0.17 ounces of marijuana in the car. Later on, Claiborne's 5 kids were taken into DCS custody after a court ruling. The kids are young, ranging from 4 months old to 7 years old.
And my oldest child, he was just looking at me like confused. And I just gave him a hug and I told him it's not your fault.
Now, Democratic senators are calling for DCS to release the kids back to the parents.
It is absolutely ridiculous when marijuana is illegal in about half the states in the country that a black family got 5 of their children taken away, put into DCS that's not doing a good job of taking care of the children they already have, and they won't give them their children back for a misdemeanor charge.
In a statement, the district attorney says there's more to the story than the mother and her attorneys have put out. Highway Patrol says there was a weapon in the vehicle in possession of a convicted felon, but we have yet to see any charges filed related to that claim.
We did not arrest the mother in this particular case, and with the intentions of leaving the children with her, and that's where we left it.
DCS says they can't comment on cases and adds DCS and law enforcement follow protocol for collecting evidence. Those findings are then presented to the court. In this instance, the evidence resulted in the court placing children in DCS custody. As lawyers and officials talk, Claiborne and Williams are in Georgia.
It's like death.
Awaiting court dates.
Having children that's out in the world and you can't physically see, touch, or anything like that, it's mind-boggling.
Claiborne's attorneys say DCS is now retaliating against them for releasing certain legal documents to the public. DCS did not respond to comment on that. We're also continuing to ask the department what evidence they collected that led to these children being put in state custody.
Dated Mar 19, 2023/02:24 p.m. EDT. Share Coffee County 10. The WKRN. The 5 children of a couple from Georgia were put in state custody after their parents were pulled over in Tennessee and charged with a misdemeanor. Bianca Claiborne and Deontay Williams were traveling from Georgia to Chicago for a funeral when they were pulled over in Coffee County, Tennessee, according to the affidavit. The traffic stop was for having dark-tinted windows and using the left lane without actively passing. After being pulled over, the state trooper smelled marijuana and found about 5 grams of it in the car, according to court documents. Later on, Claiborne's children were taken into Tennessee Department of Children's Services DCS custody after a court ruling. The kids range in age from 4 months to 7 years old. When I went to go reach him, the man grabbed me. He said, "Don't touch him," Claiborne said, remembering the moments her children were taken out of her custody. My oldest child, he looked at me all confused, and I just gave him a hug and told him, "It's not your fault." Claiborne's attorneys said they don't believe this would have escalated in the same way if his clients looked different or were from a different background. Following the publication of Claiborne's story in the Tennessee Lookout, Tennessee Senate Democrats called for DCS to release the children back to their parents. It is outrageous that the state forcefully separated Bianca Claiborne, a breastfeeding mother, and Deontay Williams from their kids, and have allowed this to continue for nearly a month. The state exercised extreme and flawed judgment in taking their children, and it seems they've doubled down on this poor decision, said Sen Ramesh Akbari de Memphis. The same sentiment was echoed by Akbari's colleagues. It is an unacceptable abuse of power for state officials to rip 5 children away from their parents over a misdemeanor possession charge when DCS cannot even take care of the kids they already have in custody, said Sen. London Lamar de Memphis in a statement. The Coffee County District Attorney said there is more to the story than Claiborne and her attorneys are publicly releasing. Certainly, there are more facts and circumstances that exist that the defendants have chosen not to disclose during their efforts to try this matter in the court of public opinion and the realm of politics. My office will only try this matter in the criminal court of law, said District Attorney Craig Northcott. Tennessee Highway Patrol THP said there was a weapon in the vehicle in possession of a convicted felon but no evidence of those charges being filed has been released to the public. We did not arrest the mother in this particular case with the intentions of leaving the children with her, and that's where we left it, said THP Call. Matt Perry, the mother, had custody of the children when we were done. According to DCS officials, they can't comment on ongoing cases and emphasize the decision to put children in state custody falls to the courts. DCS and law enforcement follow protocol for collecting evidence. Those findings are then presented to the court. In this instance, the evidence resulted in the court placing children in DCS custody, said a DCS spokesperson. Claiborne's attorneys said DCS has retaliated against them for releasing certain legal documents to the public, but DCS has not responded to comment on that. Yet, while lawyers and government officials go back and forth, Claiborne said she feels like she is grieving. It's like death, she said, losing someone you can cope with because they are not with you any longer, but having children out in the world and you physically can't see or touch them is mind-boggling.